Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. I'm sitting in my now airtight station. I couldn't just hold back. I've at least closed this part off with some hangar doors. These are modded hangar doors. They have, I think, a 10-meter range or something like that. So double the range of... No, not... Yeah. The doors have basically double the range of the normal hangar doors. Works pretty well. I wanted to do it that way so that I don't have to rip open the wall if I add the next section or something like that, and it looks a bit kind of neater. So now we have to use airlocks to get out of here. I want to go back to the dock for the... Oh man, what is going on here? I want to go back to the dock for the... Oh, for the Empress. Because I made some... Oh, give me a sec. I can't say what happens there. We will have to deal with it later. It, for some reason, stutters like crazy at the moment. The game kind of always changes how it works. It might have to do with the fact that I didn't restart my computer before I started recording. I'm not sure. So you can see this thing is docked now, and it didn't pull the ship back. So how did I do that? Jonathan Cambron, man, I'm one of my viewers suggested to just set it to station and then it should work. That's not how that works, but he had the right idea. What we can do is we can just set up the sensor to detect multiple things. So we don't have to just stay with big ship. What I have set up here is that it also should detect subgrids, because everything that is connected to the station is not the station, it is a subgrid. So that's how you would detect, for example, things on a rotor or something like that. And I have just set it to detect large ships, detect subgrids, and so when basically the ship docks to the station, it changes immediately into a subgrid. The sensor still accounts for it, and then it just stays as it is. So if you then undock, fly away, then these things pull back. No need for timers, no need for something like that. I'm not sure if that's new, if the subgrid thing is a new thing. I hope not. They don't know. But I'm starting to build out the lines that lead back to the station, so I can put a structure here and, don't know, make that look a bit nicer. Not sure yet how to do that. I will continue just experimenting with that, and the same here. So I will have, or I have an airlock here. I will close this up so that I can that I can have air in this thing, and then we can leave this docking arm, this gangway, basically, to here, and then go onto the ship, do the jump over this small gap. Okay, good. Other things that were suggested. Srebish came, and I hope that's the right pronunciation. Srebish came and said, use remote controls to maneuver the ship into place. It is far easier to do that than to just maneuver it by hand. My experience with remote controls is not as good. So remote controls don't seem to be as precise as he says, but the thing is, I tested it mostly with small ships. Maybe small ships are just too twitchy, too fast for the GPS. And we want to test it with the Empress so that we can see if it's really possible to just maneuver the ship into place from somewhere else. I'm not sure. He suggested to use a remote control somewhere behind the connectors. So I could do that. Open it up here and then go into it, and maybe because we could have the remote control somewhere. No, not here. Is this cargo container there for a reason? Or can we just get rid of that? I think it's there for a reason. It connects the whole thing here. So, what can I do? I could move that back and connect it then. Maybe that's easier to do. Before I had one connector here. One connector on this side, and I had a cargo container behind that to be able to, put things in there. Let me grab some conveyors and reconnect that, and then we can just remove this one. Today the game runs really bad. Yesterday I played while running Chrome, and I didn't have this massive of a problem. Maybe I can even move that a bit more back. I'm trying to keep ways in the ship so that I can move to certain things. And here it starts to get especially hard. This is basically the room in between the inner walls and the outer walls. Man, what's up with the game? Let me restart. I will try to get this game to run now. I did the usual maintenance and removed some trash and all that stuff, so I hope that gives me a bit more FPS right now. So the game at the moment, I'm always not sure if that's again, it just changes from update to update. Okay, it also has to do with me not restarting the computer and recording next to it, because yesterday I had a really fun FPS rich build session here, basically, where I just built a bit on the station and changed out the sensor settings, did a bit more work there, and so it's again a thing where I can't explain where it comes from. Good. Okay. I'm setting in these conveyors to reroute the transportation of items from the station to the ship and vice versa. I always, if I don't dock the ship, the station runs out of materials pretty quick. I have a container now in there that also gets some components, so we can keep on building and all that stuff if the two ships, or the station and the ship, are not connected. Good. I will just prop up a remote control here. And I have one in the front too, so we will have to rename this one in a certain way. This one again will be the docking remote. So can I have a panel, please? This one. Turn it around. Place that. And then we can maybe rename this, start steering it with this one. Oh, can I use two? I will have to test that. I need to power up before I do anything. The Space Master, if I run the Space Master, I keep on. You should sit down if you use the Space Master, because if you delete stuff and all that stuff, your character still stays in space and still uses up resources. Good. So now we have the new remote control. We can rename that to docking remote so that we can clearly distinguish the two remotes from each other. Question is, can the game do that? So if we go into it, that's remote control docking. And if we go into this now, okay, remote access, Empress. See, we can't take control anymore because now we have two different remote controls on here that basically fight for the authority here. We could make one the main cockpit basically, but then I could run into the problem that at one point I forget where we have it. So what I will test, and Strabish will hopefully say something if I'm totally wrong here. I have one here in the front. I will go and make a GPS point for this remote control. Then to test it, I will bring the ship up, straight up, make another GPS point, so that this is the GPS point that the Empress usually would go to if she wants to dock. Again, he said we need to make a route of GPS points. And so then we can basically steer the ship close to the first GPS point, start our docking procedure, let the ship go into the first remote control GPS point done with the remote control, and then go straight down towards the first one. I hope that it also changes orientation, that it doesn't only put the remote control basically where the GPS point is. And that's a thing we might want to take a look at. Good. I need to control the Empress. Undock it. So, see that? Now they pull back because the ship is not close enough to it anymore. Come closer. Ooh, okay. I know what's making trouble here. The sensor point is, I think it's not picking up the blocks here, and then it needs a bit more encouraging to just start that up. Good. This should work out now. Okay, good. So this is also the point where we want to have it. Let me set that up and I will come back to you. I want to talk about another thing that I want to test, and I think We are running long right now. The Empress now has a path to go to. So this is the first point basically. And then it should go straight down into this GPS point. It worked pretty well. So the remote control, basically the GPS point is taken from where the remote control block is. And that's a nice thing, because now we can hopefully just go into the remote access, into the terminal, go to the remote control block, say, I want you to fly, not patrol, fly from to, basically. So, one way. I want you to have a speed limit. I want to give it a speed limit, so if we crash into anything, we don't, we don't destroy all the stuff. The direction should be forward, because we flew forward into the, basically the GPS points were taken with this, the front part being forward. And so the waypoints should be, let us go and say, dock path. Did it add that? And then dock GPS. That is the last point. We should start here. Oh, we can even set up actions then. We could go and say, okay, I will keep that set up. We could go and say, after you have done that, then just dock it to these things here. But what I want to do is go and take piston dock and make them just a bit small, not smaller, but not so fast. I don't want the ship to, while flying, to run into the pistons. This is pretty dangerous, I have the feeling, because again, this ship, if it flies into anything, we will have a crazy amount of destruction. Maybe I can save before that. Usually I don't do that, but I think now we should be okay with this. Empress, remote control, and then is it still set up? I want collision avoidance, I want precision mode, and then we turn on the autopilot. So it's set up to one way, forward, dock path, dock GPS, and autopilot. Dock path. Will it stop there and precisely stop? It rolls. The ship rolls. No. You. Why? Oh, I'm not close enough to it. So, yeah, it flew to dock GPS. It definitely did that. But not in a way that I would have liked it. So, I really need an explanation for, maybe it is the collision avoidance. Did it... Let me fly it back and go to collision, turn off the collision avoidance. Okay, this test now, not the turtle. I need remote access to the Empress. Remote, I have already put it into a different position. So now this could help. I had to place an antenna here so that I can remotely control it from here. This might take a while. 10 is pretty slow, but I wouldn't know how to do it any safer. So, okay, the ship is going towards dock path. Question is, does it really turn into that, or does it this weird twisty motion again? That's what I don't want. I want it to precisely go into the dock. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that Jonathan also suggested, I think it was Jonathan, to maybe find a way to use sensors to light up in a certain way if we park it in here, so that we could see from the cockpit where the ship is basically placed now. So we pinpoint a certain block or something like that, and then we basically see a light popping up when the Empress is in the right position. So this still doesn't work. It hasn't anything to do with the collision avoidance. And now it even just flew, or did it? Yeah, I think it flew past the. No. It parked it right on the remote control block. So we know that this works. If we want to, does it maybe not want to go down? Because I don't know, the thrust to the front is a lot better than it is. I don't know. Does it have to do with the thrust that the thrusters can put on the ship? I'm absolutely not sure. Again, I don't know. This is the results that I also got with smaller ships. And I'm not sure how to work it out that the ship, yeah, basically goes precisely into this position. That's a thing that I can't figure out. So the other idea we will go into in one of the next episodes, we will go and test out if there's a way that we can put sensors maybe on the back, and then we, without using the external camera, can basically fly the ship into position by just observing a light or something like that. That could be an interesting idea. This needs solving, and this needs a bit more work. It would be nice if I could just press a button and say fly into the position there now, and I'm not sure why it doesn't do that. Are these points not far enough from each other, or again, I just flew straight up with the ship and took this GPS point. So it should be perfect, and we see that it definitely can fly this precise. So yeah, maybe one of you has another explanation for that. Good people, but that's all for today. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, then please leave a like on the episode. Leave a comment if you have an idea how I could solve this. And yeah, take a look at the description. There's all my infos, Twitter, Patreon, and a collection with the mods that are used in this in this world here, basically. Yeah, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See ya, guys.